the PARCO. So the PARCO is Programme Achat Rénovation en Coopérative et OBNL. So this program actually started after 1994 when the federal stopped financing the social housing all over Canada. So as its name say, the subvention is just in the form of a contribution to the down payment in order to acquire the existing building. So I think the building was built in the 60s and acquired in the 95 with the help of the group CDH. It's a family cooperative, I guess. It's like 29 family units.
From Laos, I guess.
From Laos,
Yeah.
exactly from
And today I searched the name. It means the light from heaven.
Oh, really? Okay.
Sang Savan means in Thai means the light from heaven.
So I just want to give my personal opinion about the advantage of living in a co-op. I know there are a lot of problems with managing the co-op, but I mean as a member living in co-op and managing, it's not only a question of affordable housing, but also it's a question of learning skills. I mean, it's not easy for someone that doesn't manage a facility or even have owned before a condo to manage 30 or 40 building units. So it's a challenge, but at the same time, it's a leverage. I mean, to educate all these members how to manage their space collectively. It takes time for sure, especially for the few years. I mean, to establish the different committees. They have committees for the maintenance, for we call that the bienvenue, also for the voisinage, they have finance, they have all kinds of committees. So it takes time to put in place this committee and collaborate together. But once it works, I think it's a model that needs to be applied in a larger scale all over Montreal and maybe.
Thank you. Sharon.
Sharon?
Sharon, and we continue the story of HCNDG.
So will you talk about HCNDG?
What are we doing? We're doing. I thought we were finished.
Oh, no, I'll talk about HCNDG
Okay,
then.
good.
Okay, so HCNDG, as we mentioned, was the management company that took over and was taking care of the buildings at Sherbrooke Forest. We have two buildings at the bottom of the street. I could be wrong now. I was the president from 2017 to 2024 when we acquired 3 buildings. So in that time, we acquired 3 buildings through Accès Logis, which is a government program that helps fund renovating and giving housing to low-income people. We did those 2 buildings there, one of which is populated entirely by the Old Bray Mission. The Old Bray Mission is the organization that supports people experiencing homelessness. So we have one building that all of the residents did not have a house at that point, and then the other building we have some residents who had been experiencing homelessness, and then we have residents who applied for subsidies. When we first took over, and this is like some of the problems with housing in Montreal or in Quebec, when we first took over the other building that was not subsidized, we had a really hard time populating it. We had a lot of empty units. And how affordable housing works is the formula that the SHQ has for affordable housing is like they take the average of what people are paying in an area. So it's not basically what's affordable, it's what the market will bear. So our rents in that building, although they were brand new and quite beautiful, our rents were quite high. They were very high and we couldn't rent them out. So sometimes the OMHM and the SHQ does, they do right by us, and we couldn't rent the buildings. We couldn't rent the units. We advocated quite a lot. So we should have had 25% of our units in the second building subsidized, and we might even be right now as high as 50 or 60% of our units because we just couldn't rent them out because the market wasn't working. And that really requires a lot of advocacy, a lot of kind of validating we can't do this. We're not going to be able to rent it out. And then we were getting people who somehow were able to pass, like they didn't have any cases at the Regie. There was nothing, there was no flags. They couldn't afford it. They couldn't afford it. As a not-for-profit housing organization, HCNDG, SSGM, Solidaire Grant, we are not in the business of evicting people. So when people can't afford rent, we can't carry people for a long time, but we do make a lot of allowances and we do work out deals because we don't know what's going to happen if they end up being evicted from our buildings. So, and we've gotten, and with the support of the community council, with the support of a very strong board, Arnold Bennett had been the president before me, with a lot of housing advocates, we received a lot of support that other buildings don't get. Public housing, private housing, like when we have instances, like the not fun things, when we have instances of infestations, we were able to, Yusuf was working with me at the time, we were able to get support from the City of Montreal, from our arrondissement, to have people come in and help the people prepare so that we could have treatments, because sometimes when things go further than they should, it's public health, and you can evict. But like I said, in this type of situation, we're not in the business of evicting people. We're doing our best to advocate and have housing that is affordable and safe and healthy for the people that live there. So we've been actually quite lucky with that building. I do give the government a hard time about the funding and housing, but I'd have to say with the building on Grand, we received an enormous amount of support from the public health, from the CEOs, from our arrondissement, from the SHQ, and from the OMHM. And that's the story of housing. It's difficult. It's difficult to offer affordable housing. Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to amplify something that after the train goes. At the beginning of the Sherbrooke Forest, they said you're still in touch with 9 or 10 women, and they've moved along and they're doing masters in their.
Yeah.
Were they at Project Chance?
They were at 03.
03.
They were at 03.
That's what we're doing, right? When we control housing costs, we allow space for people to grow,
Yeah.
to become, and to contribute. And when the housing costs are lower, they can spend more money in the local restaurants and they can enjoy life. Like
Exactly.
that's what it's about. It's about the people. It's not about the bricks. So I just want to say that was a beautiful thing. I needed to amplify it again. It's those women. That's what it's about. It's those 10 women who went on.
And I'll go very quickly. So I was on the board from 2017 to 2024, and in 2024 I left because I'd been there for a long time, but I left with a really good heart, because we had people like Robin, who's on the board of directors with us. We have people who know how to read budgets. We have people who understand what the capacities are and who we need to approach within the SSQ, the OMHM, and like the council supported me a lot. People like my colleagues supported me a lot, was to get the board of directors ready, because it is a lot of work. And I left very with a good heart, knowing that I was leaving it in good hands. And I had said to the board of directors, like, I'm here, like it's a hard job, I'm here if you need me. And to be honest, the amount of times that they needed me is like I can count on one hand. So we do, like, when we have a lot of support and we have there's infrastructure that urban planners talk about, but in NDG, I think we're really lucky. We have a social infrastructure that not a lot of neighborhoods have. And really, it's only through this type of work that we're able to keep these types of buildings hopefully thriving.
But can I say one very quick thing? Like, it's essential what Sharon said. If she didn't work with the council, it would have been working hours and hours for free for a social housing that she's not a landlord. But often, Sharon is considered a landlord, and she's not. She was a president of a board. She had to go to the town. She had to go many places. But imagine a person that full-time, she need to work almost full-time to get that going. So having a training for the board, she worked on Saturday to train the board. I remember every time she used the council. Sometime during the COVID, she go on Zoom, she meet with them. Right now, we have a small project from the borough to do the same thing with other organizations, to train the board. But really, in my building, I'm in a private building, they pay us to be on the board. Imagine. And when we're talking about public, no, we're exhausting the capacity of people to be in this space, and we're all affectionate. Like I had to tell her, let go. And Julie, which also another martyr. These are the martyrs, huh? Another martyr. Like really, I tell everybody to clap their hands for her every time. What she did, when you look at the movie, you will say, how did she do that? I don't understand. She have a family, but she couldn't let go. She said, no, I'm gonna do it if nobody's gonna do it. So this is these people, the martyrs of NDG, they need to be clapped. And we need more martyrs.
Well, I think that's a good way to end it. Thank you for speaking with us. If you want, you can stay around, talk with the narrators. I think they would like to talk to you. If you want to be involved, look at the map. There are a lot of community organizations in NDG.
But
and
choose
yeah,
us first.
yeah. So thank you for coming. And
Thank you,
yeah,
thank you.
stay active in your community. And
Excellent.
Hopefully we will see all of you next year, beginning of the May.